All right, Matt. Well, as Matt just said, parts of the state, some of us already seeing some snow.
Yeah, Lauren Steinbrecher talked with the National Weather Service where they've been staying busy to try to keep on top of it all.
Meteorologists here at the National Weather Service have been watching the models on their computers closely, deciding when and where to issue those advisories and warnings.
The end of an epic day on the slopes.
We're just hitting all the tree runs. It was super sick.
Thanks to last week's near historic snowfall.
The snow can't compare to nothing else, you know. It's amazing, and it's really deep out there. It's really cool.
As powder hounds wait for the next storm.
That's the band that'll start causing some slick conditions.
Meteorologists like Alex DeSmit.
This sort of heavier banded preset move in from the northwest now, so that's on schedule.
Are constantly watching and calculating what it'll look like.
We're forecasting up to 30 inches there, and they've already got waist deep snow.
They've been taking calls from school districts Sunday, coordinating with UDOT, and keeping 9 Utah airports and 1 in Wyoming up to date, sending forecasts to Salt Lake International every 3 hours.
How heavy will the snow be? Where will it fall? When will it fall? And how much will we get in particular locations?
Based on what they're tracking, commutes could be slick Monday. They've issued advisories for some areas and warnings for others.
Mountain routes going up into the Cache Valley, like Sardine Summit, the Cottonwood Canyons. So we'll see the snow sink southward all across the Wasatch tonight. And we'll see some snow showers as well in Salt Lake and Utah County.
They want people to be prepared.
The weather never stops, so we're here to try to keep people in front of it.
Whether it's for shoveling driveways, getting to work, or enjoying a day on the slopes.
So before you head out the door, the National Weather Service says you should check road conditions along where you plan to travel. While these storms are not going to bring as much to the valleys as we saw last week, still could make for a messy commute. Lauren Steinbrecher, KSL 5 News.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Stay with us all morning long.
The Jazz, that's all.
Well, for the last few months, we here at KSL, along with the Jazz and Instructor, have honored some of Utah's best educators.
Yeah, the MVEs, the most valuable educators club. It's growing, and the next teacher to claim the title is Coach Kellerstrass.
He's been teaching PE and health at Highland Junior High for 2 years now. Coach K, as he's known, has multiple nominations, with many praising him for his positive attitude and the way he inspires his students to live healthier lives.
Oh, we love to see it. Jazz Bear there helping him out. He got the MVE treatment at the Jazz game against the Spurs on Saturday, and the Jazz won that game, 118-102. Are we saying that it was Coach K who pushed them over the line? I think so. I mean, yeah, that's the only evidence we have, is that Coach K was there and the Jazz won.
I love this. Is just so emblematic of middle school students, like out there, like they're like, I'm too cool to be excited about the Jazz. Like,
isn't that the truth? That is exactly right. Lori nailed it.
Oh, teenagers.
Matt, when you have kids that age, you're going to realize, wait, you can be excited. You can smile, you can laugh, and they're just like, yeah, oh, it's cool.
Yeah, you don't want to not be cool, right?
That's right.
Whatever it takes to be cool when you're young, right?
I guess.
And, that's kind of how the weather has been acting, right? A lot of cool.
Bears.
And in 15 minutes, one Utah city getting a pair of new ambulances. How the set will help as the city grows. And out with the old and in with the new. Some new vehicles for a fire department when KSL Today returns.
Well, Roy City Fire and Rescue got 2 ambulances bigger and better than the old ones.
Okay, they went into service last week and have already gone out on calls. Take a look.
Yeah, the departments say that they responded to more than 6,000 calls last year. About 90% were medical calls, so they get good use out of these vehicles, right? It was an average of 21 calls a day. Wow, break that down. With the new ambulances, the crew is already noticing a big difference.
Plenty of power and gets us where we need to go.
It's bigger, more spacious, lets us get ready quicker for those fire calls that are so important.
So one thing the rescue crew wants you to remember from this, when you do see an ambulance with the lights on, sirens on, please pull over to the right and allow them to pass. In Chihuahua, a community member celebrating a
great Utah product there.
Well, we're honoring some of Utah's best teachers. Meet the newest teacher to join this growing club of most valuable educators.
And more weather coverage this. Gotta love it, though.
Mom's paying attention.
Pushing them for greatness.
For the last few months, we here at KSL Today, along with the jazz and instructor, have honored some of Utah's best teachers.
Yeah, the most valuable educators. The club here is growing, and the next teacher to claim the title is Coach Kellerstrass.
Yeah, he's been teaching PE and health at Highland Junior for 2 years now. Coach K, as is known, had multiple nominations, many people praising him for his positive attitude and the way he inspires his students to live healthier lives.
Coach K got the MVE treatment at the Jazz game against the Spurs on Saturday, and we are grateful that with that new jersey, with his name on it, he was able to will the Jazz to a win, 118-102 in what is a crazy Western Conference right now. So the Jazz are in the playoff hunt right now, folks, as we wrap up February.
Well, we are wrapping up February, but feels like we're still
Victims' names.
Tonight, a dozen men are behind bars accused of preying on children during All-Star Weekend here in Salt Lake.
Now, it was all part of an undercover sting operation called Operation Technical Foul.
News specialist Dan Rascone covering the story for us tonight. He joins us live. And Dan, the court docs revealing some pretty disturbing cases here.
Yes, Mike, you could say disturbing and also sickening. According to the court documents, some of these men going after girls as young as 7 years old. That's why the DA's office says these men need to be off of the streets. Now, these are some of the documents of the 12 men that were arrested during Operation Technical Foul. It was a multi-agency operation headed up by the FBI's Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. The operation happened during one of the busiest times in Salt Lake when tens of thousands of people came for the NBA's All-Star Weekend event. The men, some of them in their 30s and one was in his 60s, were arrested over a 10-day period which ran before, during, and after the All-Star Weekend. These were all individuals who use the internet to solicit minors for sexual activity, according to the DA's office. And here's his message he has for predators.
If you're going to engage in these conversations, we want you to know that there's no safe place for you as a perpetrator. And we're going to catch you. And when we do catch you, we're going to aggressively and swiftly punish you.
Sim Gill says child predators will often use big events like All-Star Weekend because they believe that officers are too busy to worry about them. But he says that's why they want to send out this message that officers are always aware of these kind of individuals. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock, we have a local trafficking operation right here in Utah that helps out those women who are in or caught up in sex trafficking. You'll hear from them coming up at 6 o'clock. I'm Dan Rascone, live at 5.
All right, Dan, thank you. New tonight, Facebook owner Meta.
And the cleanup after an avalanche covered the roadway today.
This is something we're not going to tolerate in the state of Utah.
A major bust tonight following Utah's big All-Star Weekend. The dozen suspects behind bars accused of using this event to prey on young children.
It does look like a shotgun.
Thanks.
An undercover sting operation during All-Star Weekend in Salt Lake put a dozen men behind bars, all accused of sexually preying on young girls. News specialist Dan Rascone covering this disturbing story for us tonight. And Dan, what kind of ages are we talking about here with these girls?
Yeah, Mike, that's the most disturbing part of this case here. I saw 2 7-year-olds and a couple 13-year-old girls in the court documents that these men thought that they were chatting with. Now, Operation Technical Foul wasn't the only sting operation going on during All-Star Weekend. A worldwide event in downtown Salt Lake City, All-Star Weekend, bringing tens of thousands of people. But unfortunately,
people then use the cover of that large crowd to engage in illicit behavior.
There were those who came to prey on children.
Aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor.
As a result, 12 men are now behind bars. According to the Salt Lake County DA's office, all were online predators out to chat with children. Little did they know the children were actually cops.
We want you to know that there's no safe place for you as a perpetrator. And we're going to catch you.
They called it Operation Technical Foul, a multi-agency undercover sting that ran before, during, and after All-Star Weekend. One suspect saying he had no intent to do anything with the 13-year-old. Another saying he likes kids 9 and under. And another admitting he did something really stupid.
This technology now brings that stranger right into your home. So we need to be mindful of the power of this technology, and we need to have those honest and open conversations.
But that wasn't the only undercover operation happening at the event. Exodus, a local anti-human trafficking organization, worked with Homeland Security to rescue adult women who were brought to the event for sex trafficking purposes.
They're being exploited by their socioeconomic status, by race, religion, culture, ethnicity. There are things that they can't change about their life, and they're being exploited because of that.
And I'm being told that there were some arrests in that sting operation. Also, Sim Gill, though, saying for every person they arrest, there's dozens of more still out there searching for children. Mike, back to you.
Disturbing allegations there. Dan, thank you. With the end of the legislative session, quickly.